120 seconds. 110 seconds. 100 seconds. 90 seconds. 80 seconds. 70 seconds. 60 seconds. 50 seconds. 40 seconds. 30 seconds. 20 seconds. 10 seconds.
'My name's J.C. McCauley.
I'm Naisha McCauley, and you're watching AccessTV.org.
Jay Hogarth in the background. It's Morning Talk, my friends. Yes, once again, it's time to get our talk on. It's Morning Talk with me, your host, J.C. McCauley, along with the champions of talk. This Morning Talk champion in Studio 1A, none other than the one and only Cleo Duke-Wright. Good morning there, Miss Cleo. How are you?
Oh, I'm pretty good this morning. How you doing, Stan?
I'm doing good.
That's good.
I have no complaints. All is well. Yeah. How was your week?
Very, very, very busy and eventful. But I got through it. So I got a new phone this week.
New phone?
Yeah, I got a new phone. Someone decided that they needed my phone more than I needed it.
Someone liberated you
yes,
of your phone.
Someone liberated me of my phone.
How'd they do that?
Well, as I slept, someone came into my home and took my phone.
They came into your home, burgling. Burgled.
Yes. The house is such a mess because there's things all over the place because I'm moving. and how they found anything. And when I woke up, I said, oh my God, the door is open. And then I looked for my phone. I couldn't find it.
That's depressing. That's not depressing. I guess it is depressing, but I was going to say that's distressing.
Very, very distressing. So I didn't realize that I could track my phone with my iPad. So I tracked it all over Park Street and Washington Street, but I couldn't get it back.
Wow.
So it was gone.
So you could like see your phone.
I could see, yes. I could see it, yes. So finally I went to my provider and I just got another one, and I didn't have insurance because I lost the phone before and I had insurance, and when I went to the provider, they did nothing. They didn't give me another phone. They didn't give me half price. I said, what good was this insurance I've been paying you for years? So I didn't get it, but I guess it has changed, because if I had insurance, they would have just gave me another phone of the same phone over again. So I didn't. I got insurance now.
Sometimes they still charge you. They charge you a little less. So you'll track your phone with your iPad.
Yeah, I did.
Which means you had an iPhone.
I have an iPad. Yeah.
So you have an iPhone.
Oh, right. Yes, I do.
The iPhone is expensive.
This was an old iPhone. I had it for a long time. They kept saying upgrade. I think it cost me back then maybe $700. And I paid. And
that's a lot for. I've never paid that much for a phone.
Well, the reason I did it was because my son
just can't.
had an iPhone and his family, and we could do things together.
Oh, I got you.
We could do things together. So that's why I got the iPhone. But I never ever wanted to get another one because they're expensive. Nor do I ever want to get an iPad again, because that was equally as expensive, a little more expensive. So I did get another one, but they gave me a break on the phone. I went in and they were only the 14s. Well, those things cost almost $1,000. I said, no, I can't do this.
I can't. I don't know.
I said, I can't do.
I just can't. So, I can't.
They sold me a 12, and they said, "Oh, Miss Cleo, you could just pay $20 a month, and for 24 months, it'll be paid for. Don't worry about. Oh, come on." So I did that. I got a 12, and
the i12.
Yes, and then at the end he says, "And Miss Cleo, I put insurance on this phone. You got it." I said, "Oh, okay." And I went in at 6 o'clock, and I came out of there after 8.
6 to 8. That's
for them to redo the phone, put all my stuff back in there. It's in the iCloud or something. Put it back in there. I said, my information wasn't even private in the first place. They know everything. So they put everything back.
Oh yeah. Your whole existence is in your phone, and they've got it.
And they say on these things, privacy. There is no privacy.
We protect your privacy, and only you have access to your personal information until you need us to restore your phone.
Yes. So if something happens, the police or some federal person can come in and get everything I've done for years. All my contacts were there, all my contracts were there, I said, dog, everything was there. So nothing is private. So don't worry about anything, because don't worry about your Social Security number, don't worry about anything, because everybody knows everything. And if they want it, they can get it.
They have everything they need about you. They know all that they need to know, and it's readily accessible.
It's when we used to go to those movies and we see the third world countries and these people under oppression and all of that. Well, we are too. Only they don't make us feel it. They keep us happy and satisfied.
Oppression light. oppression light. We have a lighter form of a kinder, gentler oppression.
And that we're just, it's the same.
Yeah.
It's the same as those movies, those horrible movies. It's exactly the same.
Mm-hmm.
And I was listening to TV, and it was saying, was I listening? Oh, it was a radio. How the governors, it doesn't go through anything. It just, the governors have the right to make these decisions, and Congress has a right to make these decisions. They don't even work together. One doesn't look out. Nothing is as the Constitution had planned. So we're going really downhill, really.
It would seem so.
Really quickly.
It would seem so. We give up our rights incrementally.
Yes.
Little by little by little, you have less and less and less.
Right.
And it's sold to you under the guise of, well, this is for your protection, for your safety.
We need to think. Don't give them our minds. My goodness, we're giving them our minds. You know that.
Yeah.
We're giving them our minds.
Critical thinking. They don't have your kids aren't using critical thinking skills in school anymore. And so you get to a place that you are someone needs to tell you what to think.
That's right.
Right. We'll tell you what to think. Don't see, your problem was you were thinking. Now you know better than to think. If you need to know something, you come and you see me and I'll tell you.
I heard that the greedy something digital world versus the analog. Well, I never knew the difference between analog and digital, but now I kind of figured it out. Digital, you really don't have to think. They just tell you.
They tell you.
Yeah.
It's to the degree now. Well, like say, your news. The news is driven to you, and so you're getting sound bites of news, and a lot of news, particularly news pertaining to government, is a lot of times it's prepackaged and presented to the news source. So if you have a press conference, and then they give you a lead of what the press conference is going to be about, and it's
all controlled.
It's very, very sanitized. Politicians have gotten to the place now where if they don't like the question, they just don't answer it. Or even better yet, they reject. I heard one politician actually was in a debate. They rejected the premise of the question.
Is that what they said?
Yeah. I don't accept and reject the premise of your question.
They use words and they use.
Right, therefore, since I reject the premise of your question, the question is therefore now nullified, voided, and irrelevant. Now, that I find offensive only because the person asking the question doesn't believe that to be so. The question's legitimate because it was put forth.
We do what we want to do. We can reject what we want to reject.
Right.
Depending on who you are. It is so scary. I have to just say, oh my Lord, what's happening? There's nothing that says I'm a person with a mind. And I can think things out.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't have to give me every answer. You don't have to tell me everything. I can think for myself. But
you can only think. You can only process information that is in front of you. So if there we go. If you don't have the information, then you don't know what you can't make any decisions. It's like it's like baking a cake. You can bake a cake, but you can only bake a cake out of the ingredients that are in the house. So if all we have in the house is a plain butter cake, then that's all you can bake. But you might want to bake a chocolate cake, a strawberry cake, anything, but you can only work with what you have. The same thing with information. If you can't get information, then you can't make decisions about what it is you're hearing. So the news, they don't really go in deep.
They
give you like surface sound bites, and the news to a large degree has become very much a tool of those who are in power. And so the information that you receive is part of that system of oppression.
So the same thing that was in those third world countries, the same thing is happening now to us.
I always look at this. All right, so if you're listening to Fox News, I don't listen to the news really, but if you listen to Fox News, you listen to CNN, you listen to PBS, you listen to your local radio news, listen to the news on your quote-unquote black station, you listen to the news on the quote-unquote Spanish language station, and it's all the same. How is that even remotely possible? I mean, there should be different points of view about what somebody saw. There should be different things that are important. So, yeah, you may be reporting on the March for Life. The March for Life in Hartford, since the capital city, should probably be a big story. So I could see you all leading off with that because it's such a big story. But they all lead off with the same story every day. It's almost like they're getting their news from this. Everybody's getting the news from the same source. Like a feed comes in, and all they do is read off the feed.
So put Donald Trump into the mix. If this nice, it just popped into my head, into this nice smooth system that they have, and he's saying, "Hey, folks, that just ain't so. This is what it is." Blah 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 blah. Okay, I'm not saying that that's the way it is, but it seems as though he's the only one making noise. He's the only one saying, that's not how it is.
With fake news.
With fake news.
Well, he has been the one primarily saying that what you're hearing isn't the truth.
That's,
I mean,
I'm getting to the point where I'm saying, is Donald Trump the only one is allowed to think in this country? Is he the only one who's allowed to have a different opinion? And I'm not a Trump fan, but and if I was talking like Donald Trump, as far as the system goes, not agreeing with the system and saying, hey, that's not show, folks, would they be trying to indict me and put me in prison and kill and do all these things to me? Because I'm not on the train with them. I'm not.
Well, here's. They
would just probably kill me because I ain't not important.
Here's a good example. This might be a little bit edgy, but we'll take it there. Last week, almost a week ago to the day, I think it was last Thursday, we had a state legislator, Representative Comey, from the 102nd district, flipped her car. Now most people I think have heard about this, but she flipped her car on Capitol Avenue. Now I take Capitol Avenue, if not every day, at least 3 or 4 times a week. When we go shopping, we always return on Capitol Avenue. Always. My wife doesn't like the highway, so we never drive on the highway. Very rarely. Never more than a mile. on the highway. Now, there's an ice cream place called Capitol. I think it's called Capitol Ice Cream. It's on Capitol Avenue. There's the legendary Red Rock Cafe.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of legislators go there, and a lot of newspaper people go there because it's right down, right down the street on Flower Street before they decided to cut Flower Street off. Go figure. Now, she flipped her car. It's very difficult to flip a car. Usually flip a car because you went around the corner too fast. But she flipped her car driving straight. She must have rolled up on something and flipped the car. She was inebriated. All right. Now, I'm throwing out these facts because these are things that cause people to say, what's the rest of the story here? This is how the story begins. You take a look at all the facts and then you come up with a story. Now, your car has to have significant speed
To do that.
to flip. Unless you get like 20 or 30 people come and just flip your car over. Maybe she rolled up on the little green thing and it flipped over. I don't know. And a lot of things could have happened. But she was going fast enough to flip the car. Now, she was so intoxicated she couldn't walk well enough to pass the sobriety test. Oddly enough, Fox 61 had a camera on location when she was given her sobriety test, and that was on the news. You could see her stumbling. She's fortunate she didn't get killed or kill anybody, and she didn't seem to be too hurt.
Mm-hmm.
A good Samaritan pulled her out of her car. There were several people that had tapes of her from the buildings, and the eyewitness testimony of the guy inside the barbershop said she wanted to go home. Oh, you can't go home. Your car flipped over. So he told her, you got to wait till the authorities come. They pulled her out the car. Now, she doesn't remember where she was coming from.
She remember her first drink?
I don't know if she remembers her first drink. She knows she drank something somewhere, but she doesn't know where she came from. She went to a couple different restaurants. She doesn't know where she came from, though. The state legislator. In fact, she's the same state legislator that was on the floor and was intoxicated on the floor, so they had to go and pull her off the floor. And she wasn't sanctioned that time. Now, she was heavily sanctioned this time. But the question still remains, where was she? Because, see, where she was is news. Inquiring minds want to know. That's news, where she was. Now, if she was at the Red Rock, she probably would have drove her car to the Red Rock. It's nighttime. Maybe she would have had her car over to the state legislative office building. And she's coming from the state legislative office building. But, if you come out the parking lot and you come straight down Capitol Avenue and you go around the corner, you get up to like 60, 55 miles an hour. Maybe she meant to step on the brake and hit the gas pedal, and accelerate it instead of stopping. In an effort to kind of avoid something, she lost control of the car. Car rolled up over and flipped. Well, that's a story, but you could figure that out. But where was she coming from? Because you see, if she'd been at the Red Rock, I guarantee you, Red Rock liquor license would have been pulled. Because they served a woman who was so inebriated she couldn't walk hardly. And she walked all the way back to the Capitol to get in her car. I don't think she could be that drunk. I mean, it's hard to walk when you're that liquored up from the Red Rock all the way back to the Capitol
But she
Garage.
was coming from the Capitol Garage.
I don't know how she could have been coming from anywhere else. I mean, she could have been coming from a different restaurant that was further away than the Red Rock. Maybe she was at the restaurant down there on Capitol Avenue.
Because if they talked, their license would be pulled.
Well, see.
Something's going on.
When a state legislator flips their car, after all of the car accidents we've had with wrong way drivers, we had a state legislator killed coming from the inaugural ball by a wrong way driver. There's been an inordinate number of accidents by people. And here's a state legislator. And now you hear crickets. There's crickets in the air now. You don't hear anything. But she thinks she was at a couple different restaurants. There's only so many restaurants. There's cameras everywhere. Where's the investigation as to where she was coming from? Because there was a real high power event that night. She could have been coming from there. They're not going to pull that liquor license. See, real reporting dives deep and gets the answers to the questions. That's news. Everything else is propaganda and fluff. Propaganda and fluff. So you're being told what to think.
We need to keep our minds. We need to check ourselves right now.
Mm-hmm.
See, how much are we thinking and how much are we getting, being told how to think, how what's the word I want, not processed, manipulated.
Manipulated.
How much are we being manipulated?
You're being extremely manipulated. What you're allowed to see online, because certain things are in social media, you don't see everything that's available. You see things that they think you will like, things that you agree with. Unless they want to make you mad, then they show you things that they know will make you mad. They know what makes you mad because of how you react.
Are you calling us a puppet? Are we puppets?
Well,
that sounded like a puppet to me.
A puppet has a hand in it. A marionette has strings. I don't know which is worse, to be controlled by the strings or to have a hand coming up through your chest and someone controlling your mouth, a puppet. So, the people that are in control want a population that is not going to question anything.
And yet we put them there. We put these people there.
But then and again, you're told who to vote for. People have to become critical thinkers if they're going to vote for candidates that have their best interests and beyond their best interest, the interest of the whole. So, it's like you go to a restaurant and you're given the illusion of choice. In reality, you're going to eat whatever they have on the menu. The menu is very controlled. They know exactly what's on the menu. What you want may not be on the menu, but you can't have that.
Go to another restaurant that has it.
That's what you'd have to do.
Is that hard? Go to another restaurant. Find out what's on the menu before you get there. See if they have what you want. Call them all until you find one that has the menu that you want.
Well, the menu's like your choices for, because you mentioned about voting for people. So if you're presented with 9 candidates that are currently running in Democratic primary right now, nine. So if there's 9 people, then the party is presenting you 9 different people. But at the end of the day, whoever wins will be subject, for the most part, to the party. The party controls all the money and all the levers of power. So, you're told pretty much what to think because, you're presented with information to help you make a choice, but that information is very artfully controlled and put together. You take the best smile, the best pose, and you put that out there, and that's what people see. They don't see the behind the scenes. So it would be really cool if everyone running had a camera with them for 1 week. All access. Be yourself for 1 week, and then people could see who and what you really are.
Well, I guess that's not going to happen.
That's not going to happen. Yeah, the last guy that invited the cameras to come with him got in her. That was Gary Hart. Remember Gary Hart?
No.
You don't remember him. He was a presidential candidate. He got hooked up with a female. He said there was nothing going on, and he invited the press to follow him around.
That was a mistake, huh?
They did, yeah. Yeah. You don't invite the press to follow you around and think that they won't follow you around, particularly if you're doing something stupid.
So while the press was following, I remember that when the press was following him around,
he was doing a little dipping.
Didn't he think they would see that? He didn't think they would see that. What?
That's part of the. Excuse me. That's part of the problem with hubris. You get to be such. You get to such a place in a state that, I don't know.
We're in a scary place. Children killings, all this. We're in a scary, scary place.
Yeah.
Our schools. How do they think? I was reading, we should have a shortage of teachers. And all I heard is more money, more benefits, more this, more that. How does that make a good teacher? How does that? I think they do it. How does that make a good teacher? How does that? They just want more bodies. It doesn't seem like they want.
It would make a good money is a tool that gives you access to resources. And so if the resource you need is a teacher and they're in short supply or high demand, then they can command more money. I don't really have a problem paying teachers. I have a problem with the product that teachers put out. And so, if the kid can only read at the third grade, we got a problem. That's like you get a new car and only has one tire. Where are the other 3 tires? Oh, well, we're starting out with no tires. Now at least you have a tire.
We have teachers with a fairly good salary. They say Connecticut has teachers get a high salary. That's not factual because I have no idea, but that's what they say.
Mm-hmm.
And we're producing students who can't even count. So.
Yeah, you go to the store, you realize that real quick. You give them the item costs $3.10. Give them $3.50 and watch what happens.
They can't give me 40 cents back. It's crazy. So I'm saying, how does you pay teachers a living wage? At least the teachers I know live pretty good. So why does more of the same bring a better? And it's probably not even the teachers, because the teachers don't have any control. The children have more control than the teachers have.
Well, administrations have control. I think the personally. So I stay out of the teaching lane. My wife is more into the education lane. I stay out of the education lane because I tend to be too myopic. And I don't understand the reasons and the rationale for why we don't get what we get. Because there is one, but I don't. To me, it's like noise in the background. It has nothing to do with what we see in front of us. Well, you have to understand kids come from impacted homes. They come from impacted homes too in Chad and Zimbabwe and South Africa, but they're doing better than us. So, life is rough some places. In some places, there's war-torn, and kids still going to school because they understand the value of education. After the war, we still need to be able to succeed. You still need to know things. So the fact that a kid may have stress at home should have no impact on your capacity and ability to teach the kid if you are good at teaching. Everybody's not good at certain things. Maybe you shouldn't be in an inner city teaching. If you can't teach inner city kids how to read and write and be competitive in the marketplace, then you're not the teacher for these kids.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Now, tell me if I'm wrong, because I'm not an educator. To me, they're gonna come after the money, and this kid's gonna lose.
So then,
and
so what is the system designed to do? Teach kids or pay adults? There's a lot of adults getting paid off the education system.
Well, that's what. So when I'm hearing them saying we're gonna do this, we're gonna give this benefit, we're gonna do that, I'm saying, how does that improve? How does that improve the student? You're saying, do they have to be more selective? Well, they're not selective now. How are they going to get more selective? How is the money and all of those benefits going to benefit my child?
They benefit your child if the people who are running things demand better and get better.
But they don't. They're paper people. You got this degree, you got that degree. People who have absolutely no degree and not even some of them high school education can teach their children or teach children better than some of these teachers can teach them. But you're going to look at my paper and my resume, which may be true or not true, because, and say this is a great teacher, or she has the credentials. And then my kid comes out at 18 still can't read. What is all of this? And this happens all the time. You know that.
Right. Well, it would seem to me that the credentialed individual has not got the capacity to do the job that they're credentialed for. Credentials mean, in theory and on paper, you are qualified to execute the job at hand. It doesn't mean that you can or that you will be good at it. That can only be determined by the outcome of the job you do.
I do not have a degree. I was in charge of the nutritional program, and I was supposed to hire someone.
Mm-hmm.
And this person came to me, and he was going for his doctorate, okay? And he wanted to be the coordinator. And I didn't think, so I checked his credentials. His resume was wonderful,
mm-hmm.
And I checked his school, and I checked his previous, no, I just checked his school, because he was getting out of school. So they said they gave him wonderful recommendation. So I hired him.
Mm-hmm.
I hired him, and everything was, maybe they weren't lying to them, but like you said, he wasn't right for the people he was working with because he was scared of them.
Oh, gee.
I said, oh my goodness, it never dawned on me. It never dawned on me that he'd be scared of them. He would,
He's scared of people in the shelter. In the soup kitchen.
In the soup, he was afraid of them. Yeah, he was afraid of them. And I was shocked, but then he, I wasn't qualified. So then he actually wanted my job. Well, I didn't think it happened, and all of that. So that's another story. But he couldn't deal with the people in the soup kitchen.
Well, you bring up an interesting point that needs to be considered. A lot of teachers in the inner city are scared of the kids. If you're afraid of the children that you teach and you don't feel safe in the building, then that makes the teaching experience very traumatic.
Yeah.
And that passes on to the kids. Know the children know if you love them. The children know if you don't care about them. And the children know if you're afraid of them. They know this.
They know that.
And then that impacts their capacity and their willingness and their ability. Children are very perceptive. All human beings are perceptive, but children is particularly perceptive because they're in the process of, learning and data gathering to figure out where their place in the world is. So if you're afraid of the children, you shouldn't be in the classroom with the children.
Directed over me. I had people over me who were afraid of the people that they were supervising. That's a horrible, horrible situation.
Mm-hmm. Pull your mic up.
That's a horrible situation because the people know you're afraid. Mm-hmm. And, if you've been living on the street a long time and you are a master manipulator. You are a master at what you do.
Oh, yeah.
And they're going to get you.
Yeah.
And you're going to fall for it. So it's just horrible if a person's not fit. I don't care how many papers they have for the job.
Mm-hmm.
Or dealing with the people that they have to supervise.
Well, if we were a little bit more outcome oriented, outcomes matter. What comes off the assembly line matters more than what you say you're going to do.
Mm-hmm.
What you say you're going to do is cool. That leaves us a level of expectation. But do you do what you say you're going to do? That's where the rubber meets the road. So failure to deliver, is, to me, would be the big thing. So if you have a classroom full of kids, the contract with me would be they must be at grade level. If they're not at grade level, then we have the wrong
teacher.
We have the wrong teacher. Stick and Stay will be right back. It's Morning Talk.
Every bad political decision is made by a politician elected to office. So if you think your vote doesn't matter, just remember this. There are people sitting with politicians in a back room making deals about your future, making policies about your children, making decisions about your neighborhood. To them, you are just a vote. You are not their cause. You are just a vote. Elections have consequences, and if you don't vote, you are actually voting to keep these people in power to work against you. Now more than ever, you need to make your vote count. It's time to clear the air and vote for a mayor that is unbought, unbossed, trusted, and accountable to you, the constituent. My name is J. McCauley, and I am an independent thinker, and I approve this message. I'm asking you for your vote on Tuesday, September the 12th, 2023, in the Democratic Party primary election for mayor of the city of Hartford. For more information, visit McCauleyformayor.com. Have the courage to vote your conscience and vote for the name you trust and know. Vote J. Stan McCauley for mayor.
Hi,
My name's J.C. McCauley.
I'm Naisha McCauley, and you're watching AccessTV.org.
All right, my friends. All right. Welcome back. It's Morning Talk. I'm your host, J.C. McCauley, along with the champions of talk. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, we are live. And on Tuesdays and Thursdays, you can watch a repeat of the day before. All right. Every Friday, Cleo Duke-Wright joins me. She's here right now in Studio 1A. Talk champion, Cleo Duke-Wright. Welcome back. Bought, bossed, and untrustworthy. Yeah.
And what's their response? What do you think the response would be when you said that?
If
You would say in generality, or would you be pointing that?
I don't know. That's a great question. That's a great question. You know, as a candidate, I guess that's a really good question. That's a great question. It's a question I hadn't considered.
Can you answer it?
There you go. See, there you go. I can answer it. But the question is, will you be willing to point your finger at someone? And the answer to the question is yes. Absolutely. Without hesitation. Because as they say,
Knowing how they would use that.
oh, they use it any way they want.
Okay.
You bought. You're bossed. And you are untrustworthy. That's hard. That's a hard statement. That's a hard statement. The only thing that makes this statement hard is it hurts feelings. It's a feeling hurter.
Yes, and then you get your back up, and then I'm coming for you, Stan.
Oh well, that's
How dare you? How dare you?
I have a propensity to not move until attacked. You know, of course, when your head is severed, it's a little bit late to react. Yeah.
We're gonna get you. We're gonna get you. Even if it takes, I always tell my children, don't relax. Just because he lost the battle, that doesn't mean he's gonna lose the war.
Yeah.
And it may not be this year, it may not be next year, but please.
It could be
don't
12
relax.
years later.
That's right. Just wait for it to come.
Yeah.
I say that to well, I have to say that I feel, in my opinion, white folks are planners.
Mm-hmm.
They plan a long time.
Long game.
Right. So if they lose something in the middle, don't get fooled.
Oh, no.
Because that long plan, they're gonna work that plan. Whether they lose a little something, they're gonna work that plan until that plan comes out the way that they feel they want it to come out. And so you can't relax because they're planners. I don't feel that we're planners like that.
Well, you know, I'm sitting here listening to what you're saying, and you know, I say, like, if I had to make an overgeneralization, I would say one of the major differences between the two spheres of influence between, you know, white people and black people, where we are in America now, would be that black folk want immediate gratification. They want it now.
Mm-hmm.
I want mine, and I want mine now. White folks plan. It may be out there over the horizon. It's over the horizon. We got to get it by ship. We got to get it by land. So we did a plan we're not going to get it right now. We have to plan to get, and then when we get it, we got to have also a plan in place to protect and keep. When you get something right now, it's only in the moment. And the instant gratification is never, the instant gratification is really not the best thing for you.
No.
It's too easy, it's too quick. It's like fast food. There's no real nutritional value. The nutritional value comes in the food you got to cook over a stove in the kitchen. Hey, man, we got time for that. Until you get sick because you haven't eaten well for the last 30 years. So, you have to plan. You should always plan for success. No matter what you start out doing, plan that what you're doing will be successful. So that's part of the undertaking.
Not maybe, not I'm gonna fail, not listening to everybody who gets your ear.
Right.
And so I try to tell my children, I tried to tell them, I said, don't think that man is out your way yet. He's still gonna be coming for you 10 years from now, so you don't relax.
Yeah.
You just keep on stepping. You just keep on going. But I think some of my children understand that, but others do not. We're not. My opinion only. The problem in the United States. I don't care how many people come here.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care how many shades of brown and black they are.
Mm-hmm.
The whole problem in America, to me,
Mm-hmm.
is the white man
Mm-hmm.
and the black slave.
Mm.
Everything is them.
Mm.
I'm gonna put these people up here. I'm gonna make him stay back, and we're gonna bring these people up, and then these people are gonna be fighting these people, and blah 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 blah. But the only thing that matters in America
Mm-hmm.
is the black slave and the white man, and they're related.
Well, that's quite profound. That is, to me, that's profound, because the heart of the issue is that pulse, that heartbeat, which is master servant.
Yep.
Master everything else is noise and a distraction.
That's right.
Everything else is noise and distraction, but the engine is master servant, and this tense relationship
And in
between the two that is always on the edge of exploding.
And in that is a love-hate relationship.
Mm-hmm.
In that is a love-hate relationship. And you can't have that kind of relationship. You can't have that love and hate relationship with anybody else but the black slave and the white man. There is no other relationship in America. There is, to me, there is no other relationship in America. And the white man doesn't see any of these shades of brown in any kind of way except manipulation. But he's scared of you. He's scared of this over here. And he'll keep it down no matter what, because he's scared. But he also loves you. It's a love-hate relationship between these two, the slave and well, I cannot explain it in words. I don't have the vocabulary, but I feel that, and I have felt that always. I have felt the love of the white race and the hate and the envy. And how dare you be as smart as me? How dare you get higher grades? How dare you? You the slave.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the African could get it. The Spanish could get it. But you cannot get it. You can't get it.
That's interesting. That's an interesting area to explore. I had to talk to my anthropologist friend about that concept. Let's see what she says. That's very interesting. I wonder if there's any studies or any books written on that subject. On love-hate relationships. Maybe the one between whites and blacks is the poster child for love-hate relationships.
And everybody else has somewhere to go except us.
You can't go no. It's almost
Can he?
It's almost like a marriage.
Yeah.
It's almost like a marriage where the marriage is breaking down, but one of them, they can't leave. You ain't gonna go nowhere. It sounds like the color purple.
Yeah.
Where you gonna go?
Where you gonna go?
You ain't nobody gonna want you. You know, I mean, you know.
You're in this together. You've been in it together for hundreds of years. You're still in it together, and you can't get along. And it occurs to me every time they do those ancestry things, and they do. And I'm saying, how come they can't find as many black people and as white? You know, how come they can't find the racial mix in this when I know there's racial mix, and I know that there's that Irish man in my family, Cleo Finley, that my father was named after, that I'm named after, and he was a big, husky white man with red hair, and just so happens that my grandfather was a big, husky black man with red hair, you know. And they all came from Easley. Now being a inquisitive child, I said, Daddy, who is Cleo Finley, and how come my grandfather had red hair, and how come this and how come that? And what they say?
Now that's none of your business. Mind yourself.
The old folks don't talk. So you there's, as my aunt said, we're pure African, and I don't have any mixing. We went down south, and that just was not true. There were the Germans, there were the Irish, there were this, there were that. Mm-hmm. And my very dark aunt was not to say a word. And then there was the Native American. How many people don't have Native? I mean, come on. Mm. So it's between us. We are so connected. And we are so apart. Until we get together, that black slave and that white man, nothing's going to happen. I think, personal opinion, nothing's going to happen in the country.
It's very interesting. You know, the three primary players in this drama would be the slave master, the slave, and the indigenous people whose land they are both on.
Yes.
And that is the drama.
That's the drama. And the Ku Klux Klan wasn't after the Chinese, wasn't after Africa. They was after us. You know, because they were so mad and they were so connected. What's the anger about? Why are you so angry? Why are you so angry at us?
You know, and another thing that's kind of interesting, you know, the inquiring minds want to know, so you ask questions, right? So why do you have to hide who you are? The military doesn't hide who they are. We're coming for you. You hide when you don't want people to know it's you.
It's you.
And so that means these are people who you are with on a very regular basis.
Right. Somebody ought to look up Donald Trump's past and see who's in it.
He has a very interesting past.
Yeah. His ancestry.
He has a very interesting past.
So it's we gotta all of us, we gotta get together, because these other people don't count. They're just, I mean, they count, you know, as human beings, but they don't count in the
family squabble,
right,
that is going on.
Right. They don't.
In America's family squabble is the love-hate deterioration of the marriage between white folks, black folks, and the land they took from the indigenous people.
Right. That's all it's about. It's not about anything else, I think.
That sounds like a thesis. You know, somebody working on a doctorate ought to be doing that. There, I'm sure there's that. Do you present a very interesting thought? Legislature is just a long session, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this is the long session. I have to go up to the legislature today at 10.
Are you testifying?
Well, they're going to vote a bill out of committee. So I'm going there to support
the bill?
One of our members who has been advocating for the bill. As have we. So I'm going to go and support. And that's at 10 o'clock. A lot going on up at the Capitol. I've been up there quite a bit lately. It's actually quite interesting and quite exciting if you like drama. Plenty of it up there. Plenty of it up there.
The
people don't go to the legislature. They don't go to the city council meetings, let alone the legislature. But it's a very interesting place because the sausage is made up there. All the rules. You know, if you want to see how the sausage is made, you go to the legislature and you sit in and the different hearings and the committees and, you know, just walk around and park yourself on the railing and listen to conversations. Very interesting.
My sister used to do that. She used to go up there and have LOB and have lunch and then talk to whoever she could talk to and, you know.
Yeah, in the cafeteria. Anyone can go in there and eat.
Yeah.
Go in there, have a nice meal.
And have a little conversations with different people. So
yeah,
she thought it was very interesting. I've been there quite a few times when I was working for the nutrition program for Center City Churches.
Well, onward we press. Bought, bossed, and untrustworthy. All right.
All right, let's get them. Here we come, Stan. Oh, gosh. Well,
what does it mean to be bought? That means you're owned by somebody.
That's right.
To be boss means you do what someone else tells you.
And if they can't own you,
right. So bought, bossed, and untrustworthy. So can you be trusted to do what you say you're going to do? That I don't think that being bad. I think those are legitimate questions.
But how do you think they'll be answered?
I don't know.
I'll tell you a lot of words. There's going to be a lot of words.
But words
that actually mean
nothing. So words mean things. So.
And when you try to pin them down to the question or that you have asked, it's not going to be answered. They're just going to do some more words. I learned that the hard way. I might have been sitting here asking the question. I kept asking the question. It wasn't answered. Kept asking the question. Then I got up closer, right this close, and asked the question again. It did not ever get answered. Besides, the only thing that happened is the room cleared out, but no answer. So I really never did that again because that was futile, and that person never talked to me ever again.
There was
never again. So it was futile.
There was a tactic we used to use when we were out doing evangelical work on the street. You go out and you hand out gospel tracts, invite people to, accept Jesus Christ as their personal Lord and Savior. Yes, you go out and you do the tracking. And people would get into discussions about faith and, what does Jesus mean to you, this, that, and the third. And people go round and round and round and round and round and round. But at the end of the day, there's one question you can ask. The answer is unavoidable. And that is Jesus Christ the Lord and Savior of your life? Anything less than a yes is a no. Because no man can say that Jesus is Lord except he be led by the Spirit of the Lord. So you can't deny Jesus as Lord and Savior of your life if he is truly the Lord and Savior. You'll be burned alive before you do it. So if you ask that question, then that narrows the bandwidth. You can't. No wiggle room. So you have to find a way to ask the politician a wiggle room proof question. Is this you in the picture? Something not like that.
Yes.
I mean, if it's not you, then the follow would be, well, who is? Is this you on the videotape with these people? That's a yes or no. No debate. Well, I think no.
I take the fifth.
You don't know if that's you?
So the picture's not all of that clear. That's a picture that kind of looks like me, but I don't think that is me. I have never been in front of that building. No, I don't think so. That is not me. Because it's not clear. You see that picture isn't clear. So you can't tell what's me or not. It's someone who kind of built like me. Yeah, I'll give you that. But
that's not me. I have no recollection of ever having been there.
No.
If I was in that place, I would know, and I don't remember.
Yes. Just like
I don't remember. I really don't know what I look like. So how can I know if that was me? I've never seen me objectively from another space.
The same thing is, where were you coming from? I remember where I was coming. Well, where were you all evening? I
don't know.
The fog. I really can't. I can't remember. So she came out of the accident without a scrape, or maybe a few scrapes, and yet can't remember where I was.
Can't remember. Mr. President, can you give us the definition of is? I don't know. Well, it depends on what is. I don't know what is. Do you mean in the present tense, past tense, future tense, or the far distance? So
This is.
That is. Who is they is? They's. Oh, my. Where else can you have this much fun?
I don't know. That's why I like coming here every Friday.
Yeah. And just for the record, I didn't say anything.
No? Miss Cleo said it all.
I didn't say nothing. I don't know. I don't even remember what we talked about. And I know I wasn't here. Right?
No, we need Dan Rather and Walter Cronkite and Dave and Chet back for a little good sound reporting.
Absolutely. All right, my friends, our time together has come to an end, as it does every day. Thank you for taking time out of your schedule to join us. We'll be back next time. You all have a great rest of your day, a fabulous weekend. Thank you for coming in, Miss Cleo.
Oh, love being here.
And we'll see you all next week. Bye-bye.
Hey, Hartford, Connecticut, I'm talking to you. We gotta get out and vote. Vote for Stan McCauley. It's our time. We gotta rise up and take it back. Vote for Stan McCauley.
Vote for Stan. You gotta vote for Stan McCauley. Vote for Stan. Vote for Stan. Oh yeah.
It's more than politics than just what your social covers. And it ain't somewhere written down in bold letters. Don't just take my word for it, do your research. Think of your future, look at your bigger picture. Suit and tie, clean up, unity for the righteous. Plotting on action, hands-on access. With a light source vision, door-to-door knocking. Guerrilla style marketing, brainstorm as a collective. Real neighborhood suggestions. Only we know what it is where we living. To make real life decisions. Move on facts, make it manifest back.
You gotta vote for Stan McCauley. Vote for Stan. Vote for Stan. Vote for Stan. Oh yeah.
Look at your city, stop. Take a look around. Is opportunity flow into your house? Are you working? Wait, can you save some money? And is your neighborhood safe? Or is it a homicide every night?
My name is Marlon E. Starler Sr. Many of you may know me as the two-time welterweight champion of the world. I'm here to tell you that Democrat J. Stan McCauley, as our next mayor, will fight for you until the last bell. Help me throw a knockout punch. Go out and vote for Stan the Man.
My name is J. Stan McCauley, and I approve this message.